This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and welcome to a Running Gears episode that I still think a lot of my hoopers out there can benefit from. And anybody who's watching this video, hopefully this will help you out in getting the best size for any brand. Let's jump right in. If this is your first time joining the channel, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing, and if you enjoy the video or if it helped you out at all, please give it a thumbs up, as it really does help out. Now, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll definitely try to answer and respond to anybody who needs help. Now, I will put a link below in the description after I kind of go through some details if you just want to get right to the specifics and help of the matter. But today we're talking about finding the right fit, getting the best fit, and why most likely you're wearing the wrong size. Now, I've been in the sneaker industry, as it were, with YouTube, just working at a few stores, and just being a sneaker lover for quite a few years. I've helped a couple hundred people find shoes, try on shoes, and majority of people are wearing the wrong size or don't know their size. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is just measuring your foot more often than you would think. If you're a size 10, if you've been a size 10, when was the last time you checked? Was it last year? Was it 5 years ago? 10 years ago? Obviously, if you're a young person, you're growing up, your shoe size is going to change. But a lot of people don't realize as you get older, your foot still kind of changes. Same thing if there's any changes to your body. If you've gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight, whether it's putting on muscle mass, maybe you've had a baby, maybe you've worked out and lost a ton of weight, your foot is going to change and adapt to your body. So measuring your foot and having the right size and the best fit is going to make a huge difference. But more often than not, a lot of people are wearing shoes that are just too small. And I'm here to tell you that the damage to your body, your feet, your balance, stability, your performance by wearing a shoe that's too tight is pretty much guaranteed. Obviously, depending how long you're wearing that shoe. And if you're going to choose between a shoe that's too tight or just a little bit too big, going too big is going to be a lot easier of a choice. And unfortunately, a lot of people choose to have it just too tight. Now, again, in a perfect world, you get a shoe that fits you perfectly. That's the whole point, and that's why it's so important. If you have the right fit, go ahead and get that shoe, because that makes a huge difference. But if you have a shoe that you need, whether you're in hockey, you skate, you're in baseball and you have to get certain baseball cleats, and you're in volleyball, there's certain sports you have to get certain shoes, you're going to be limited by what shoes you can get sometimes. Maybe it's by the manufacturer. If you go to a school, you have to wear a certain brand. Maybe it's just availability. You're not able to get these shoes in the part of the world you're from. So just saying, well, find the best fit is not always the easiest thing to do, and getting a shoe that's either a little big or a little small does become a choice. And I'm here to tell you, go a little big. You can always torque down those laces to tighten the fit. You can always wear more socks. You can change the insole. You can do a lot more modification. But if a shoe is too tight, there's not much you can do, and it's going to hinder your performance quite a bit. Now, obviously, I think running is the only industry where if you're a runner, most running companies are available globally more often than not, as well as they're available in more sizes. Whether that's doing a 13.5 or doing a 14 wide, you're going to have more availability. That these are sizes just not made in many other sports and many other shoes. The second point is, if you find a pair that you really like, that fits you perfectly, don't get stuck with that pair. Year to year, a company may change that shoe, or the company may change where they're going. One example would be, say, the Nike Pegasus. If you've always worn Pegasus and you love the way the Pegasus feels and how it fits, the Pegasus 37 this year is vastly different than any other Pegasus that has come before it. And you may be thinking, well, the Pegasus works, why not get it? Trying on different brands and not being stuck with just that brand loyalty or that shoe loyalty can help you really not miss out on a lot of performance, a lot of great shoes out there, because you only want to wear this one shoe in the one brand. Unless you're getting paid and you are a sponsored athlete, try new things. I don't know if you guys can see shoes behind me. I have a LeBron 18 back here, or 17, forgive me. I have an Anta GH1. We have the Way of Wade 8. If you look back here, we have a Skechers Elite. We have Asics, Brooks, Adidas. I try to test out a lot of shoes because a lot of companies are doing amazing things. Now, it doesn't mean their whole lineup is amazing, but there are specific shoes for every brand that can be really good. And if you're not willing to try it because you're brand loyal, you're shoe loyal, you're really going to miss out. And when trying on new shoes, when measuring your foot every so often, gives you a chance to try the new things out there that maybe you haven't given yourself an opportunity on. All right, with all that said, I'll have a link here so you guys are jumping to it. The things to look for in measuring your foot. Now, this video is not sponsored, and hopefully in the future it can be, but I know at least here locally in Chicago in the United States, there's a running store called Road Runner Sports, and they do 3D modelings of your foot where they can measure your foot and give you a precise measurement. Now, it doesn't mean that's going to be the best sizing, and go there and you're going to solve all your problems, because definitely not. But it does do a great job in determining what kind of foot shape you have, not foot size. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think if you have a wide foot, that's just a generality. All us wide footers are the same. My sister actually has a wider heel and ankle, so certain shoes bother her back there. That, again, I've learned that recently. I have a wider midfoot. A lot of folks have a wide toe box. The height of your foot is the instep. The thickness of the top of your foot, so kind of here's the bottom of your foot, here's the top. Depending how thick this is, I don't know if you guys can even see that, essentially that's your girth. A lot of people have different needs and different fits where the tongue, the lacing, the materials are all going to have different aspects. So getting a 3D modeling of your foot, if you have that availability to you in any facet, goes a long way in really learning what kind of foot shape you have. Now, as far as the sizing of your foot, let's go back to something that everyone has all over the world wherever they sell shoes, and that's called a Brannock device. Now, a Brannock device essentially is measuring your foot, obviously in a two-dimensional way, just lengthwise, heel to toe, and then widthwise. But there's some caveats I want you guys to do next time you measure your foot. One, it is measuring your foot as if it's in the back of the shoe and you look at it and this is the front of the shoe. It's not really the case. Here we have a New Balance 1080, this is the version 10. If you notice this big cutout right here, let's see if it focuses. When you put your foot in, the idea is your heel sits back here and it follows the shape of your Achilles. But there's going to be some space right here. It doesn't matter. You can put your foot all the way back, but as it curves up, there's always going to be a little bit of space, and it's okay as long as you're locked in. That's kind of how shoes are made. So if you're measuring your foot on a Brannock device, put your thumb in the back. That's going to give you a little bit more accurate depiction of what shoe size you should be wearing. Now, that's going to increase your size by about half a size, but it's going to be more accurate. Now, for my experimentation, just to give you guys an idea, for my personal case, if I put my foot on a Brannock device, I believe it measures in at a 10.5. I have tried to put 10.5 shoes in the past just to test out, because I know that's not my size, and generally I can't get my foot in the shoe, the instep, my ankle, the width. The shoes I can get in, my toes have to be completely curled. Obviously, I'm not a 10.5. Now, if we go up to an 11, I end up being able to uncurl my toes just a little bit. And I guess maybe if I had to, steal my son's shoes to go outside in the snow real quick, I could make it work, but that's not something I want to walk around in, run in, or move. That's an 11. So just to give you an idea, whatever size you are in the Brannock device, you're generally about a size up, maybe size and a half. So for me, when I put my thumb down there, it puts me in 11. And from an 11, I go to 12. Now, this specifically, in this New Balance, is a 12 wide, and my toe sits right there. I have a little bit of space, but not a ton, maybe that finger's width, and you actually want about that finger's width from where your toe is to where the tip of the front is. You don't want that complete suffocating feel, because you want your toes to be able to move and splay, which means essentially you're walking like this, but as you run, they spread apart. You're going to need a little bit of space. Same thing, your foot can swell depending how long you're playing or how long you're on your feet. You want to have that little bit of space. So my true size is a 12, but it's a 12 wide. On a Brannock device, it puts it at a 12E. Most companies don't make an E. It's either a D or a double E. So I go with the double E, and that's what this is. It's a 12 double E, and the fit is fantastic. And Generally, you can get away with not having a wide option by simply going up half a size. A lot of shoes I have, let me grab one here. Yeah, I'm trying to see what's a 12.5. I can look here. So I think these are a 12.5. So essentially a lot of shoes, if I do that 12.5, that's going to give me a little bit of the width, and I still have maybe slightly more space, but the fit is just that much better. So you can see how, looking at a Brandt device, where if I measured it and someone who doesn't know shoes, or they're a new shoe employee and they measure your foot and you just got there and they tell you, oh, hey, look at, you're a 10.5. Generally, it's not going to be the case. You're an 11.5, you're a 13, whatever your foot size is, depending on the actual size, you're gonna have to go up some to get a right fit. And again, my foot shape is different than yours. Just like fingerprints, we all have unique shapes. So rule of thumb is just that. Use your thumb, put it behind your heel when you're measuring your foot on the Brandt device. When you try on the shoe, if it's still too tight, which generally is, you want about a rule of your fingers width right in the front of your toes. So you're gonna have that space either way. And again, for the width, if you're not able to get a width, going up that half size can make a big difference in order to make sure you get a nice lockdown. Now, thirdly, going over why you would want a shoe with a wide base or a wide fit. This is another New Balance, and this is the only basketball shoe that I'm currently aware of anywhere in the world that comes in a specific wide last. Not even the new Kawhi from New Balance is available in widths. But when you have a wide platform, and hopefully I can use my hand here, if the shoe is this wide, and your foot's this wide, you're gonna notice that material is gonna need to stretch around your foot. It also means generally you wanna have it a little bit looser so it kind of can spread around your foot. And if you're worried about having that material spread around your foot, you're not gonna have the best containment because you want the laces really to pull down. Well, if you have a wide foot, you can't really have it pulling down when you're getting pain and you wanna open up the sides. So when you have a shoe that has a little bit wider of a base, or if you get a wide fit, now you have a foot, and if this is the footbed, you put your feet on top of it and it's a little bit wider, you're not worried about the width. You can really torque that down and really pull your foot back into the footbed, back into the heel, giving yourself a way better locked in fit for a shoe that's a little bit wider, or a shoe that maybe went that half size up and you're able to get a better fit. That was part one of finding the best fit for each brand. Hopefully that helped you out in some of the details and looking at how to get the best fit when you're in store and you're trying to find the right size. Part two, we are going to be going over specific details on all these shoes and the comparison between each shoe, and hopefully can help you even at home, where you can look at a shoe that fits you really well and be able to look at the tag and look at some of the details, so when you buy your next performance shoe, you have a better idea on how to get the best fit. And finding the best fit can make all the difference in the world for your performance and your comfort, and just be able to enjoy being on your feet all day or all the time you're training or practicing. Well, if you liked that video and it helped you, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and obviously if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, or if I missed anything, let me know. I always try to do better. As always, this is Levi with Sneaker Gears. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll come at you later.